Welcome back to Collaboration Conversations. As you know, my co host, Pearl Cox, is unable to be with us right now. And so I have the pleasure of having a guest co host today. And I'm very excited for you to meet her, to learn more about what she's doing. And then we also have a panelist with us today. But let's start with Sharon. And Sharon, I'm actually going to let you introduce yourself because I want them to hear from you. But this is Sharon Ringer, my guest co-host today with women's, she's a women's empowerment strategist. So Sharon, take it away. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do, who you serve, why.
Okay, so thank you, first of all, for even allowing me to co-host with you today. This is an honor and a pleasure, especially after meeting you because you're so dynamic. But so who am I? I am a mom of two. They're now 31 and 35. So I'm still 30 again, just so I let everyone know. I have Jerrilynn, be nice. I have anniversaries for that birthday. So, and there's 26 of those. So it's like, I'm okay to say how many anniversaries, but I'm still 30 again, at least 30 in this heart right here,
There you go.
Fur baby mom over here. And, it's like that in itself that's who I am. But how I work or how I define from a business perspective, that keeps me to be able to, still be mom. And even though they're grown, I get to go see them when I want, all that fun stuff. But I am a women's empowerment strategist and just recently decided to also work with, because there's a few good men out there, just saying, small business alignment strategist as well, because I am, I at the end of the day, we're not good at everything, right? As entrepreneurs, we're just not good at everything.
Amen.
So I like to help with kind of molding and getting clarity and understanding around what pieces are missing because it's sometimes we are even so seasoned, we miss the things that we should be doing, right? So, yes. I mean, having as many anniversaries as I've had for my for my 30th birthday, it's like, it's really difficult to know what else is necessary in the beginning, because it's like I've been doing this is like
Right.
third or fourth business, we won't say how many.
That's okay.
But well, Richard Branson has how many? 400 and
There
something, I
you
think it is.
go.
So it's okay.
It
So
is good.
I have a
It's
lot to catch
beyond
up
okay.
to. But it's one of those of where it's like I love connecting with younger millennials because that's where you get to see what's missing or staying on top of the
Ah,
trends and the expertise. So when I say you don't know everything, one of my examples is Jerrilynn. It's like she works my nerves to no
oh,
end when it comes to
really?
LinkedIn. This woman, she is your LinkedIn genius, okay? But it's like that's not my zone of genius. That's not my
Right?
zone of excellence. So yeah, that works my nerves because I'm just like, well, can't I just like leave
No.
it this way? And she's always like, you have to do it this way. You have to. So it's finding that person that can put you in a level in that space of
Yeah.
what you're missing, those gaps. And that's what I do. I love finding other people with collaborations and things like that to be able to help the entrepreneur because we can't do it all. And I was that person that thought I could do it all. And it ran my body into the ground and it created illness for me.
Yeah.
And I ran so hard that I ended up in the hospital, and my kid used to say every year, and it was like clockwork. And I'm like, oh my God, I was in the hospital that year too. Oh wait, so it's like I took all of that experience, and I'm like, what can I do? So I created I'm Possible Women's Empowerment Collaborative, and that really just came from a conference of wanting to help women understand how to know their worth. And we promoted it with masterminds, and from there it's like at the conference was like, well, when is the next mastermind? And I thought I had, I started having a tick because I'm like, wait, what? This conference really drove me crazy. And but I saw the value of it, and I'm like, you know what, it wasn't even the conference, but it was the conference is what's needed to make it happen, right? It's that one thing.
Right.
If you've ever read the book The One Thing,
Right.
kind of like with Star Wars, it's like, is it the movies or the merchandise? Well, the merchandise is making this much, like, and the movie is only making that much, but you need the
Right.
movie to sell the merchandise.
Yeah.
So it was my one thing that I needed to push and propel. So we started with masterminds, and then I started adding other resources, and that's kind of how like the space that I'm in now which is to serve and support. That's how it got started. So, and then, by doing that, for 4 or so years, I got to meet Miss Jerrilynn. And I don't even remember how we met. I know I had been kind of ghosting you a little bit. And then I think I connected with Donna, and Donna was telling me that she would support Jerrilynn in anything she did. And I don't even remember how I met Donna, because I don't know which chicken and egg. I don't know who's the chicken and the egg with these two.
There you go.
But it was just like, I got to know Jerrilynn, and it was just like, oh my God, what a godsend. She is all about collaboration. There is no competition whatsoever. We both have women's groups. We're always supporting one another. Now we're at the point where we have to sometimes maybe cut it off, because we talk, I think, every day, almost, sometimes a couple times a day. So it's like, and it's always, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, can you run through this with me? And that's what it should be about, is, that's collaboration at its finest.
And it's fun.
It is. And it's fun.
It is fun. We have great conversations.
Yeah, she says LinkedIn really is fun too, and it's not.
LinkedIn is fun when you do it with someone else.
When you do it with someone else.
You know what? And we're gonna keep this nice.
You don't have a choice. All our clients are at, so you just have to bite the bullet and dive in.
So with all that being said, I want to introduce everyone to Jerrilynn B Thomas, because she has been with Smart Women Partner. It has been a joy to just kind of hang with her. I want to at least say 90% of the time.
As long as she's not using the L word.
Yeah, cracking that whip of like, you need to, like, oh,
yes, you do. You just need to.
So this is Jerrilynn, everyone.
Well, hi, everyone. It's a pleasure. I'm so happy that Sharon invited me to be a part of this, and it's nice to meet you. Basically, what I do is I'm a collaborative marketing strategist.
I love that.
My marketing playground is LinkedIn, because if you want to have clients, you have to have a way to get them. And I know that LinkedIn is my place. Been there forever and a day. I think I joined like 4 months after LinkedIn launched, and it was nothing there, as you know, way back up in the day. It was just a glorified Rolodex.
Yeah,
we just all invited each other to connect, and then one day they gave us groups. The world was the best back in the day when we first had groups, and that's how I was able to really get clients. I did networking events using LinkedIn. It was so crazy that I think we generated so many emails, because we were using listservs in conjunction with LinkedIn.
Right.
Yeah, it was great. I gave women the chance to talk about their business and not feel scared. I asked them great questions, and what are your top 3 products and services? How do we use those top 3 products and services? Who do you want to partner with to grow your female client base? And exactly how can your business help someone else? And it just took off from there. I had a virtual Women's Chamber of Commerce, a network where it was like one person per category, whatever. We did a magazine. We just did any and everything that we could do to just partner and network and get into each other's client base on LinkedIn, which brought me to Smart Women Partner and Grow Rich, which is the best, because I discovered that women didn't really know how to partner. They said that they wanted to. They did it half-heartedly because they got busy. Because we, moms, we were caregivers and everything. And then they got lost with LinkedIn, because LinkedIn gives us stuff, and then they take it away. And then having to keep learning stuff, it was like, okay, come on. Can't we just learn something and just keep that? But no, they give you something and they take it away, and then you have to learn all that stuff. So it was overwhelming. And I've learned that women needed a little bit of help, just some guidance to use LinkedIn and its features. Because, when people say that they help you use LinkedIn, they're just talking about, how to reach out to people on LinkedIn, how to email them that stupid script that we all get, that person that just says whatever. I'm like, man, this is a script. This is nothing personal. You don't know
Right.
anything about me.
Yeah.
So I help them to use LinkedIn to collaborate with the people who are already in their connections, to
Oh, I love that.
re-engage versus trying to sell to the world.
Yeah.
Because we all hate to get hit on, but we love to get that message that, hey, I would love to collaborate with you on this or that. It could be a event, an article or something. We love those. And that gives you a chance to get to know your connections. And then
And
they
that's so
see what
important.
you do and they hire you. We hire them because they have something that we need. It's just a better way to get to know your connections. So I have this program that I put together where I'm teaching women how to take apart LinkedIn, break it down into its individual pieces, figure out how to use it, and then figure out how to use it with someone else. You shouldn't be writing articles by yourself, doing a LinkedIn Live by yourself, even as these new LinkedIn audio events and everything else. Do it with someone else because your clients are in someone else's Rolodex on LinkedIn. The
Yes.
only way to get into that is to partner with that person, and she opens the doors for you because she shares it with her network, and they
Yes.
stop and stare. And it's more fun. Like I said, Miss Sharon, it is more fun. And it takes your little bit tiny thing that you were doing, makes it bigger. It
Yeah.
changes it just a bit. It just makes it broader and more fun. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Love
LinkedIn
it.
is the place. There's over 300 million women on LinkedIn.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm. Yes. When I tell people that, like, really?
Yeah.
They've been on Facebook trying to do B2B and it wasn't working for them. So now they're coming back to LinkedIn and they're at a loss. And I help guide them. I'm their tour guide.
That's awesome. I
Mhm.
love it. And what
Yes.
you said is exactly why we have this show today, because, you know, my partner and I, my co-host and I, started this show, and then she's been pulled away and is not able to be on the show for a while. And I was like, you know, I don't want to stop the show, but I don't want to do it by myself. It's a collaboration show.
Right.
So how are we going to do this? Let's get some guest co-hosts in here and bring in some
Smart.
more people. And so
Mhm.
it has been so much fun. And I've met such amazing people, men and women, more women than men, I will say. But it has absolutely been amazing and it's been fun. And it's like, you know, I tell people I have the best job in the whole world because I get to mingle with all of you,
Right.
You
get
have
to
a great
interview
job.
you. And I have a wonderful job.
Yeah.
So we're all on the same page about collaboration and how
Oh
important
yeah.
it is, or we
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
be here,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Correct. Hmm.
So, so let's dive in and talk about collaborations, and we'll just see what direction this conversation takes. But
Okay.
think about, you know, what's one of the best collaborations you ever had, and share that with us. What and why was it so good?
Mia Sharon.
I was about to
Either
say the
way,
same thing.
yeah. Either way, whoever wants to go first.
So for me, it has been with Jerrilynn. And the reason why is it wasn't a threatening environment where, you know, I didn't feel like if I connected with her, she would feel some kind of way, you know. And I mean, we literally talked things through. And because at the end of the day, in life as a whole, I remember even being on job interviews back in the day, and they used to always say, you know, like, like, what's the hardest thing you've ever dealt with? And I'm like, here's the thing, it's people. But I don't even like my kids every day. Love them dearly,
Yeah, yeah.
but I don't
But
even
at
like
this
my
moment, I
kids
don't
every
like you.
day. So it's like we can't sit here and say that relationships as you're building, it's always going to be
Yeah,
perfect.
it's
And
not.
that's the beauty with, you know, when you have true collaborations, they become, for me, because I'm 100% in my business when I'm not, you know, wanting to go visit my kids or something like that. But it's I'm 100% with that. And it's like, so my friends are my business collabs. And with her, it's like the other night, you know, we had we had an event, and because I asked her to co-host with me, and we're starting to do more events together because it's just I can't say it's fun. I can use it now. But it was the funny part was we did this process where she just went on and like created this group, and I'm just like, and I knew you're gonna start getting people wanting to opt out, and it's like it's not like they're just gonna opt out. They're going to start with, why am I part of this group? I'm blah, 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 and I could feel the energy that was going to come from people checking out on it, right? And and we're texting back and forth, and it's like not once did she take offense because I knew my texts were direct. But that's the beauty of it, is like, because we know each other. I can just say, hey, I don't think this was a good idea, because you know how people are. I mean, when she did it, and when I joined her group and she was having all these beta group lists and stuff, and everybody say it's too overwhelming, it's this, it's that, and it's just like, okay, we already know how people are going to respond, so let's find a way. She's like, okay, we can check it out already. It'll be done in 24 hours, and we're going to go back to the original idea, and then we won't do this again because it's just not going to, And it was not about either of our egos. It was about how we're going to deliver to the people that we're both trying to attract. So to be in a relationship with someone that you don't have to feel like you're going to have to walk on eggshells.
Walk on eggshells, yeah.
And I can tell her how I feel. And the thing is, it's like, and I know my personality. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I hope you didn't take offense. I hope I wasn't offensive, because it's not my intention. I just know how these people can sometimes be, and it's like, but the thing is, it's like, I didn't even have to technically apologize, and it was already done.
No, you sent me a kiss. You said,
I did. I said there a kiss. It's like, I was exhausted, and I was exhausted that night. And I already told her I wasn't feeling the greatest, but it was just to have that type of relationship in business. I think I feel awkward because I'm looking at you and Jerrilynn, but it looks like I'm looking the other direction, or it looks like I'm looking that way when I'm really not. So I keep looking at myself like, wait, which way am I looking? But so I apologize if I'm looking off to the side and it looks like I'm looking the other direction. But anyway, but it's to me, it's so crucial to not just look at people as, especially as a small business, collaboration isn't just a business transaction. It is a relational transaction.
Yes. And that has to be the first part of it, right?
And we tend to always leave out the relational side, because I think that because we are in the space that we're in, I'm not saying we have to be besties, but technically we are business besties still.
Yes.
And you have to look at the people that you're building your business with as that's your business family. It's like when I worked corporate, it was so funny because I had my son was like probably the baby was like not even a year old, and I worked for this company, and he used to call me his business wife, his work wife, because I was on him, and I will call his wife and the housewife. I will call her, look, you know what? Marv had something he wasn't supposed to eat for lunch, and I know he's supposed to be blah, 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 blah. And she's like, what? So it's like, hey, I'm because at the end of the day, if you're not working or if you're sick and you don't come back, guess who might not have a job? So it's like, but I use that analogy as I was his work wife, for as a joke, because we knew how to collaborate and meld together to make work flow better.
Yes.
And that's the beauty.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah. And I've been that in that work spouse relationship before, where it's, and I have one of my clients consistently refers to her work husband, somebody that she works with, and it's those are special relationships, but they're in no way damaging the marriage relationship that they have. It has nothing to do with that. It's that intimate work partnership,
So she's like a sister to me. And the thing is, because my personality is what it is, the majority of the people that I deal with do become, so to speak, family, and one instance I used to really feel bad about it, because we went to my husband and I went to breakfast with our pastor. And one of the questions was, like he has friends outside of his job because he didn't make friends at work at all because he was a construction worker.
Right.
Me, on the other hand, I didn't have friends technically because that wasn't associated with work. I can probably count my friends on 5 hands. that
You
that
five
are
fingers.
completely not. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
5 fingers, not five
You
hands.
five hands.
Wait,
Hey.
wait,
I knew what you meant.
but yeah, it
Same
was just
here, though.
like
Yeah.
it's like I just I have my friends from my past, and we are close, very
Right.
close. But the majority of the friends I have now that are actually personal friends are friends
I'm from work.
from, even if it was my past, like when I was an event planner.
Right.
I have a lot of friends from my event planning. I'm retired from event planning, have been retired for
Yeah.
4.5 years. Another girl's that she was my best friend, retired, and she's working, she's VP of business development for a company. And my
Right.
girlfriend who still is in the business, we all still talk because we just had that relationship, because we
Right.
collaborated on everything. And she
Yeah.
was a wedding planner like I was. And the other one would do, she would do she does fabric draping for it, but she also did her own planning. But we were like the best of friends because
Because you
we
have shared
understood,
interests.
we had a
Yes.
shared interest,
There
and
is
they
a
weren't a
reason
threat.
to talk to them
Right, but
versus
there was no
the
threat.
other
We did
people.
the same
Other,
thing, but no
yeah.
threat. None
Yes.
whatsoever. And if I called and said, Shar, I need a second hand on my wedding, she was there with bells on. If she wasn't booked, and then she'll call me, hey, I can't take this wedding. Can you take it? Sure. Well, why don't you just take it and then I'll just come work for you? It's like it's collaboration is so, the word is used, I think, interchangeably with other stuff, and I don't think people really understand the true meaning of what that really means. And it's
I agree.
overused.
Yeah, I agree. And that's partly why we do this show, is to really get people thinking about what it really means. And
Right.
you're absolutely right. Relationships are at the heart of it. They're the start and the heart,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
It all starts with building a relationship, and then that relationship, it becomes the heart of the collaboration. Jerrilynn, you had a response to that question as well.
I guess so. The greatest one. Well, they're like on the same level in a way. I mean, my first real collaboration that I did with someone that made me go like, wow, I'm just loving my life would have to be with Malika, because
Mm.
she came in and she did this great webinar for everyone called Before the Talk. Before
Mm,
you get on the stage for the TEDx, what do you have to do so you can be prepared? Because there's a
Right.
lot of things to think about. So after she did that, it was like everyone was so excited and so just like, oh my God.
That was a great talk, though.
Yes. And I asked the question. So what happens after? When you leave that stage, what happens? Because I've seen people on LinkedIn and they have in their little bio up top that they're a TEDx speaker. So I'm like, what does that mean? What do you do? So you did a TED talk. Well, what do you do with that?
right.
So that got me going, like, you know what? You're gonna do a bigger thing. We're gonna join forces and we're gonna help women figure out what to do after the talk. So I grabbed
Awesome.
her and four other women, and we did a LinkedIn Live for TEDx speakers. And
That was
has
good
one that
too.
did sales, someone that would teach you how to create a course from your talk, someone that teach you how to do a book from your talk. It was like so much fun. And it was like I was made for this. I was born just to bring together women
Right.
who have a similar audience, that they could help women, that that they could take what they were doing and do it with someone else and then make it even bigger and better. It was like, oh my God,
Mhm.
it was just a joy. I got a high from that. And
I bet.
now with Sharon doing these monthly functions, I mean, Blitzer is like mind blowing. I was sitting here like, oh my God, I love this, I love this, I love this. The excitement on
She was
Wednesday,
so
who
excited.
just
I don't mean to
pops
cut
up
her off,
and
but
makes
she was so excited that night. I'm like, Lord, can you just like go to sleep, please? Oh my
because
goodness.
it was fun. Because
And
you
she kept
never
going,
know
this was
who's gonna pop on the screen next. It's like, oh my God. So you meet all these people that you hadn't met before, hadn't even been on the same radar, and they just
yeah.
pop on your screen. And you're like, I'm like, oh my God. It's like this is just the best thing ever, discovering Blitzer, and that she
Okay,
asked,
now I'm not familiar with Blitzer, so y'all are going to have
"Oh
to
my God, you
enlighten
have to
So
do
me.
it with us next. You have to come and
yeah, you'll have to
oh,
come and join us as we do. So
Okay.
for us right now, we're doing it once a month on the second Wednesday. And
Okay.
I'll send you a link.
yeah,
And so what's really cool with it, and I give little tidbits on how to navigate through it, so that you get the most out of it. Imagine speed dating on steroids. You're now
Okay.
doing
Okay.
business dating on steroids. And you get 4.5 minutes. And depending on how long, you can go on different blitzers as well. So Blitzer does offer you can do it free. You can do 2 free events a month. Otherwise, it's $9.95 or something like that a month, which is not expensive at all to network as much as you want. But they have some really cool features. So you can go in, you can lay out your whole platform with like your dashboard can have all of your information, all of your connections, everything. And then so people then will see when they go to the actual event, they can see who's going to be there. That doesn't necessarily mean that they show up all the time, because sometimes
Right.
people will register and don't show. And that's the nature of the beast of having an event.
Yes.
But you get
Yes.
to see who they are, and you can red light, yellow light, or green light them. So red light
Okay.
is it's just not your target person. Or for me, I'll be honest, I red light my members because I already know them. So that
Right.
way I can meet new people. So I don't get algorithmed into meeting someone I've already met and talked to several times. I will tell
Right.
you, I think for me, since starting in January and I took the summer off, I've had over 200 conversations, one-on-one
Nice.
conversations just on Blitzer. And the cool thing is you might meet someone and then be like, okay, this person wasn't for me. You don't have to reconnect with them. But a lot of times what I do, so these are the tips I give for navigating through it, is Blitzer will literally send you an email, but you can also go into their app and it'll show you everyone that you've ever talked to. So for
Okay.
every time you go to a Blitzer, whether it's your own or someone else's, it breaks it up into each section. You can go message them. So what I did was I created
Nice.
a generic, it was a pleasure meeting you. Here's my information. Let's schedule a coffee chat. And
Right.
then you leave the ball in their court to schedule the time with you. And I can promise you 9 times out of 10, if it was a good conversation, they definitely will reach back out to you. But it's literally 4.5 minutes of the two of you talking, and it goes
Nice.
so quickly, and you meet like
Oh, I bet.
up to
yeah,
9
it's so
people.
fast.
So I have a question for you both. If you wind up in a space with someone who's not a fit for you, do you do your best to connect them with someone else? Are you thinking about who
Mhm.
do I know that I can
Yes,
introduce them to?
I did that.
Awesome.
Dr.
Awesome.
Ida, the lady,
Yeah.
the one who's the spiritual healer. I'm like, oh my God, I know someone who
Mhm.
needs you to have a conversation with
Fantastic.
you,
Exactly.
partner with you,
Fantastic. Yeah.
because she wasn't my
I
target
think we should
audience,
all
but
be
she
doing
was
that
someone
always.
else's.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will say that
Absolutely.
for me, there's a caveat. If I feel that your energy or how, because for me, if I'm recommending you, I definitely want to make sure that you don't have to have my, I guess, a zone of excellence, so to speak, but I at
Right.
least want to feel comfortable knowing that you're not going to treat people badly. And
Exactly.
there are
Yeah.
some people that are
Yeah.
car salesmen. I know it's a bad analogy to use, but if you're a car salesman kind of person where all you care about is making a sale, I don't
Yeah.
want you
Then I'm
treating
not going to
my
introduce you to
yeah, I
anybody.
don't want
Yeah.
you treating my people like that, because I am very
Right.
protective. And granted, I don't own people, but
Yeah.
people that I make connections with, that I have a heart
I'm
regard
glad to
for.
hear that, Sharon.
Yeah, I don't own them. Look, I don't even own the 2 I gave birth to, honestly.
True.
They're not mine either. They
True.
belong to him
We have
upstairs.
stewardship over them. That's it.
That's it. But I want to make sure that if I'm referring someone, that one, it isn't going to make me look bad. But because at the end of the day, you don't want someone thinking, "Oh, is this who she's?" Because birds of a feather will flock together, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but even bigger
I
than
want to
that is
burn
like
those bridges.
I don't want people to feel like the only person I'm going to refer you to is someone that's going to be a piranha. And
Yeah,
like I met someone
absolutely.
in the group where it's like the first words out of their mouth was, "So, what kind of water do you drink?" Did you catch my name first? It's like we're in Blitzer, and it's like the first words out of your mouth, we get together, and you're asking me about my water, and it's just like I drink the water that I like to drink. How's that? Because it's like, oh my God, you are already
That's
pitching me before you even know my name. And I used to sing the song to my kid when he tried to get a date with this girl, and he met her in a school dance, and he goes, Mom, I met this girl. And I'm like, oh, what's her name? He goes, oh, I don't remember. So, and it was back in the days of I forget who did Say My Name.
Yes,
It
it
was
was
a
Destiny's
Destiny's
Child.
Child,
Oh
and
yeah,
say
I
my
hated that
and so
song.
I would sing it to him, and I told him, say my name, say my name. You got to get my name before you get my number.
Yeah.
So that's the song I sing when you want to
yeah,
like jump in my DM and be like, hey, I got this for you, that for you, and all the
right.
bells and whistles and
Yeah,
witching
no.
potion.
Mhm.
Say my
Yeah,
name before you can't get my number.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
not business dating right now. We're done.
right, right.
You haven't
Absolutely.
dated me. So yeah.
But if they make a positive impression, then you
Oh
do go ahead
yeah,
and
I
introduce
love
them to other
referring
people.
people. I
Yeah,
love
always. Yeah.
I've been called a networking queen. I can go to and it's a true story. I went to Florida for a conference and sat next to this girl, and we started talking. She's like, "Oh, I live in Skokie," and I'm like, "Oh, I live in Illinois myself, and Skokie's a few minutes away." And I go, "Here's my card. Let's connect when we get back." And she looks at my card and I flipped it around. She's like, "Oh my God, I know who you are." So it's like, and my husband goes, "Do you go anywhere where people don't know you?" And I'm like, "I guess not." Because but it's like I'm networking queen. I love networking. I've always
yeah,
been that way. I used to have a
yeah.
paper box full of business cards,
Right,
and I
right.
threw them all away because it's like I made no connections, and at that point I'm like, this is not how you connect.
Yeah, that's not how you connect.
So
Yeah,
I threw them all away, and I started making true. It's like, and that was, oh my God, like 15 years ago when I realized that. And it was just, and from there it's like I can go anywhere and meet people. I love
yeah,
meeting people, and I love
yeah,
referring people because I love giving. I love to serve.
yeah. I can remember my going to the grocery store with my stepfather when I was younger and him saying, is there not anyone in the world that you don't talk to?
My mother is like that. She knows everybody.
I didn't know them, but I'd speak to them. We'd be in the
Yeah.
line and I'm talking to the person next to
Thank you.
me,
I would do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
fun.
It's
We
just
may
called,
not
That
know
is
it
people,
is.
fun.
but it's fun.
Yeah,
Having a
You know what's
it
even more
is.
fun is to get someone who's, for lack of better words, I'm just going to use the word crotchety. I used to work at this company, and I had the most crotchety boss, and he would walk by my desk, and I broke him. What was said and done, he took
It
me out.
makes it make it your mission to make them laugh or or
Yes,
something.
actually, to make him speak. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I won't say his name, but hey, how you doing? And
Yeah,
and I would go in, are you having a good day today?
yeah,
There's no reason to be that. And we finally, I'll never forget the honor of, and because his mom passed, and he sent me a message, and he's like, I'd love to have you there. And it's like, wow,
wow.
yeah,
wow, you
yeah.
know.
One of my very best friends. We've been friends since her youngest and my only were about 6 years old, and they're now in their 40s. And but when we first met, she was kind of like, and I took one look at her and I said, this person is going to like me no matter what. We're going to get there. And now we've been best friends for 30 plus years.
Yep, yep. But those are the best friends when you
They
Yeah,
start
really
out
are.
absolutely.
not liking
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. And in her reasoning, but she was just being standoffish. She lived in a place where people came and went a lot, and she didn't want to get
Oh,
close to someone else again and have them
okay.
leave. And so she was just kind of really standoffish. And I just said, no, 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 that's not going to fly. We
And for
actually went
people,
into business together for a while.
nice.
Oh,
That's wonderful. For people that
Yeah.
have that personality, I like to share with them that sometimes people come into your life for a season, a
Yes.
reason, or a
Yes.
lifetime.
Yeah.
And don't let the blessing be lost over the fact that you're afraid they're going to leave, because not
Yeah.
everybody is meant to stay.
Yeah. And I
So
think
it's
she's
like,
gotten
enjoy
there
that.
now, but at that point in time, she was struggling with it. So, but I just remember thinking, no, that's not going to fly. You're going to like me. We're going to get along great. So awesome. Um, okay. So, Jerrilynn, did you kind of finish what you were saying there? I
yeah.
know we sidetracked you.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Sorry, Jerrilynn.
That's okay. I'm good. I'm just saying that,
The fluid
our
conversation.
collaboration with Blitzer is just mind blowing.
Oh, I know. I
Yeah.
love it.
It's
I
going to
love
open
it.
up new doors.
I'm
Oh yeah.
definitely going to give it a try. Yes, definitely
I
send me a
will.
link,
I will
Sharon.
send you a link. I'm making a note now.
So in that, let's go back and talk about Blitzer for another moment or two here. In that, when you're in that 4.5 minutes, is there a specific structure you follow, or you just really kind of breaking the ice with one another, learning about who each other are and what you do, and then
I'll
you're
just say
setting up an
hi,
opportunity to
and
talk again?
yeah, we just say hi and start a conversation. The person always asks, "So, what do you do?" And you just answer. And then
Yeah.
you be generous and ask what they do. And
Yeah.
then you see how you intersect. Like for me, most of the people that I spoke with the other day, they were part of LinkedIn, but they let it just go. And so now they need help to use LinkedIn again. So I'm going
There
to
you go.
cultivate some new clients
There
out of
you
that
go.
because
Yeah.
it's real easy. They're like, oh my God, you do LinkedIn? Like, yes, I do. And I just give them some tips and say, hey, let's have a virtual cup of coffee.
Fantastic.
So one of the things that I do with it is, of course, you have the get to know you kind of thing, but I like to try to give them a question to talk about. And this past week, especially because I had Jerrilynn on, we kicked it off with, who are you looking to collaborate with? Because sometimes people don't know how to do what she was
Yes.
saying, and so with that, it's like one of the things I've done even in the past ones before Jerrilynn joined on was I would ask a question, and if they chose to implement that question, great. If they didn't and they could get it going,
Right.
great.
Great.
But it was really
Gotcha.
just an engaging question for those
Yeah.
that are not used to networking that way and they're
Right.
not sure
Right.
what to do. So I do try to give an engaging question of some sort. Sometimes we use the same one, sometimes we change it up. And then in the end, so the way that it's set up is it's almost like watching a Facebook Live in the beginning, the
Okay.
first few minutes, unless you glitch out like we did this past week. All of a sudden I looked up, I'm talking and it was just gone and we were going into networking. I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing then. But it's just, so with her being a co-host, with Jerrilynn being co-host, it's just the two of us and we kind of are having dialogue back and forth. And then it'll go into where everyone is literally paired up one-on-one, just to give you an
Right.
idea of the flow of it.
Right.
And then so
Countdown.
you have and then you have 4.5 minutes. And then
Right.
after that, you have 30 seconds and no, I'm sorry, 15 seconds. And or is
Put you in a
it
new
20,
room,
something like that. And then you'll get a new person.
a
It
new
just
person.
pops up on the
Yeah.
screen. It's like,
And yeah, and then they come on the
surprise
screen and
for me.
then you do that for a while and then you come back. So I have it set up in the back end in the dashboard for us to be able to talk in the end. So sometimes I will bring people up to kind of talk about the experience or something like that. So and you
Okay.
can have it as long as you want. So mine is for an hour. I may add some more on because we just had a launch last night for for a new chapter in Atlanta. So with that, because that's going to be men and women, that chapter is going to be for masterminds for men and women. I might do
Right.
a separate one, but again, even if men come in ours, I just red light them.
Yeah.
So, so it's like if we don't want to talk to, so I'll go in other groups, even if I do a blitzer with someone else and I didn't want to connect with men, I would just red light them. But I always say
Okay.
keep an open mind because you never know, they may know other women that
Absolutely.
they can invite.
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
but
Yes.
if I'm
Yes.
just trying to fill an event, I will do just that. So yeah, so there's
Right.
different ways to do it. It's so open for translation depending on what you're looking to do in your business.
Right. Interesting. I had not heard of that before.
Me either until
So
she, whatever, and I experienced it and freaked out.
Everyone loves it. Everyone that I've introduced to it, they're like, oh my God, this thing is so cool. And I got introduced to it like last January was my first one. And I want to say
interesting.
by May, I had 100 conversations already.
Wow.
And I was
Nice.
just like, oh my God, I didn't realize I did that many. Well, when you're doing anywhere from 7 to 9 on any given event, and I was doing sometimes 2, 3 events a week.
Right.
And then I'd take a break and then I'd come back. And yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
Sometimes
really
you got
nice.
to take those breaks. That's a really good point. I'm glad you said that
Mhm.
because if you're actively networking and collaborating, sometimes you have to take a break on the inflow of that to
Right,
make sure that you're meeting all of your commitments and that you're serving
Hmm.
everybody well that you've
right,
connected with.
right,
There's no point in going out to 10 more networking events if you're not taking care of the folks that you've already connected with.
right.
Correct.
Well, that's why I have
Yeah.
the follow-up of I'll put in a little chat, hey,
Yeah.
let's schedule a
Yeah.
coffee chat.
Right. Right. So let's have you answer that question that you said that you asked in there, Sharon, of
Oh,
who are you looking to collaborate with? So, Jerrilynn, who are you looking to collaborate with?
um, okay, female authors that have B2B books, women who help other women grow their sales, those that are marketing consultants, uh, let's see, B2B authors, those that are in financial planning as well, because the purpose of my program is for aspiring seven-figure female entrepreneurs. So if you're going to make money, you need to know how to keep that money. So someone that can show them what to do with their money, save on their taxes every year, whatever it takes.
Right. That's some people I may need to introduce you to. So I will
Perfect.
star that
Okay.
in my notes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Awesome.
Coaches, consultants, authors, speakers, because speakers are looking to be on other folks' shows, handle their webinars or whatever. So yeah,
Right. And primarily you assist them with LinkedIn. Is that correct? Do I have that
yes.
right?
Hmm.
Okay.
How to collaborate, how to write joint articles together, how to do joint newsletters together,
Oh, I
how
like
to
that.
create content for each other's LinkedIn company page, because the page shouldn't just be about your business, because we all
Right.
have different needs. So like when they leave me, I know that they need someone who does websites. They need a
Right. Right.
VA. They need someone to help them with their sales. They need someone to help them with their e-course that they're thinking about starting. Someone who could help them create a sales funnel or whatever. So women who could write that kind of content, and I can link to it on my LinkedIn company page so that my followers come back to my page.
Right.
Just keep my business on their mind. Like, oh my God, she has great content. I need to come back.
Very
Speaking of
good.
Sharon, I need some content for my LinkedIn company page. Thank you.
Request
Another
received.
thing.
You see that look she's giving you,
We are
Yeah,
Jerrilynn.
not supposed to be doing that here.
That's funny. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. That's a great description of who you're looking to collaborate with. That's awesome. How about you, Sharon? Who you're looking to collaborate with?
Well, she covered the list pretty good. But also, so from a collaboration standpoint, that's what I'm looking for. But I'm actually going to go into more my ideal client.
Okay.
Since we talked about, because I mean, it's you can't get any more
Yes.
detail than that. So for
Yes.
me, ideal client is definitely female entrepreneurs looking to get clarity in their business. Because again, they can't do everything. And they're just looking at figuring
Right.
out how to get all of these pieces filled in, because we have those resources. So with that, it's like my gamut is across the board for different entrepreneurs. I am getting ready to work on a summit. I just decided today that I'm just going to do it because it was
all right.
recommended that I don't do that, do coaching instead. And I'm like, I'm working on the coaching too, but I'm going to do the summit because I want to get women ready for 2023. I had to postpone the retreat till spring before May 2nd, before hurricane season starts. Hence why it got canceled. Because I wasn't taking a chance with the whole hurricane thing. We had no
I don't
damage,
blame you.
but it was too close for comfort. I'm like, I'm not messing with this. I'm gonna postpone it till where it would, where it'll still be at a decent time and what have you. So, but anyway, since we postponed it, I still want to give something to get women ready for 2023. So, I'm looking for speakers. I'm looking for it in different aspects of how to prepare for 2023. And it doesn't matter whether it's marketing, PR, strategy, financial, whatever the case may be. I am
All
definitely
topics.
looking for
Okay.
all topics to do that. And so, and I'm doing it the standard summit style, where it'll be a very small, ad spend to get it, like, or not an ad spend, but a very, and very like almost no cost spend for the guest. But I feel like free, you don't show up. So I want it to be just enough for
Right.
you to show up And because these women are taking their time, and then, you know, for the speakers that are coming, anybody that they invite, of course, they would get, you know, ad share in it as well. So I feel like it would be a win-win for all, because it's an opportunity for them to be able to get clients to help them get ready for 2023.
Right.
Because the talks that's going on right now is that we are getting ready to get hit with a very hard recession.
Yeah.
And how do we recession proof our businesses? So I really want to, and that's what the summit needs to be surrounded. So for me, that's what I'm really looking for, is to find speakers who can, from mindset all the way through nickels and dimes.
Right.
You know, we have to take the gamut all the way across. I want that needle to be covered. And if it needs to be a week long and we have so many a day, then so be it. Because I think that we need, and because wherever our focus may be, each day will be, like maybe mindset centric, business centric, legal centric, whatever the case may be, we can have it broken out. So whatever day is good for you.
Yes.
We can have it broken out that way as well. Because I really want to help women get ready, because we shouldn't, if I feel in my heart, the money is out there.
It is.
It is.
Just don't know how to get in front of the right people to do it.
Yeah.
So if we get these pieces together, because again, we're always looking for how to get that knowledge. And it's like, it's just understanding where your space is and getting all of your I's dotted and your T's crossed, right? In order to be ready.
Yes.
Because if the recession's getting ready to hit, these people are trying to figure out how to get help.
Yes.
We are their help.
We are. And we,
and I mean, so just that. And then I'm also working on, I'm offering everyone, because it's like, we have to understand the tools that we can be using to build our business. One, writing a book.
Yes.
How many people know you only need 24 pages to put your book on Amazon?
I didn't know that until you told me yesterday.
Okay, so if you have 6 chapters, 4 pages a piece, done.
Yeah.
Use that as a tool to tell your story.
Right.
And there's more to it, but it's like, I'm actually offering a free blueprint for that.
Fantastic.
A free blueprint to write your story. And I mean, if I'm allowed to give the website, because I want to help people as much as possible, especially women. It's idea, the number 2, and the word published. So idea to published. Take your idea to publish. How to write your book in 30 days. Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Idea to published, but the number 2.
Right.
To publish.com. And it's
fantastic.
It's in 30 days. It's like, get it out there.
Get it done.
Get it done and get ready for 2023, because we can take this by storm. I really feel like we could change the trajectory of how our families, change the legacy, create that legacy.
Yes.
For our families.
Exactly. Yes, indeed. 100% agree with you.
So thank you for letting me share that, because I'm so passionate about, we're coming into 2023.
No, I couldn't tell that.
And if stop. Oh, stop. I'm a little
You got to
shy.
work on your passion level here, woman.
I know, it's so low sometimes.
I know.
But yeah, it's like, I felt like, okay, if I can't do this retreat to help them with 2023, what can I give them for 2023?
You know when you're going to
summit in a book.
Do you know when you're going to do the summit?
I want to do it for the, sorry, my husband might be coming in. I do apologize.
That's all right.
The beginning of December, because I want to do it before
business plan month. Perfect.
Yeah, I don't want to do it at Thanksgiving.
Right.
But I want to get them prepared for
the new year.
Get over your holidays. Get spiced up for the holidays. But here's some nuggets to be working on while you're working on your holidays.
Exactly.
Start getting that book. Now the book, that's already out there. They can get that now. Get started.
Right.
But
very good. Is that a free download for them?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Awesome, folks. You got to go get that. There's nothing like, by the way, there's nothing like getting your first book out there. It's just amazing when you do. And it's possible to make that book a bestseller, and it's not that hard to do.
Exactly.
And
Here's a collaborative book I did.
Yes.
And it's like, it was like gold. I was just like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, this was beautiful.
And if you don't feel like writing a whole book yourself, that's another option, is a collaborative book.
Yes.
And I'm
And
working on
those are
that
very
too. Yes,
powerful too.
working on
Good,
that as well.
good. So working on a guide for that, is that what you're saying?
Oh no,
Or
I'm working on doing that as a collaborative book
yeah,
myself because I really want to offer more of a well, I'm working on one myself for just a devotional, but one
right,
for I'm Possible Women,
right,
as like what makes them possible kind of thing. Um,
right,
but that's going to be the collaborative book because we need as much food as possible to keep us just that
right.
mental sustainability.
Sustainability. Yeah,
Sometimes it's just hearing someone else's story and knowing that we're not in this alone.
right. And
It's just a beautiful, I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis and it sucked. Like I'm like the only person I ever heard that had it was Bernie Mac and he died. And then I met this girl at church who was in remission from it. And I'm like, what? And she sat me down and she told me her story. And I'm like, oh my God, you have no idea how much it gave me the hope to push
right,
forward to where
right.
my medication is almost down to zero. Because
Awesome.
they had me on so many steroids at first and they had me on all this stuff. So it's like that in itself is knowing someone else's story can be the very thing to keep you going.
Yes,
And we're
yes,
not meant to do this
indeed.
journey alone.
No, we're
No.
not.
Mm-mm.
And I would love to introduce you to a publisher person that could also be a resource for you. I'll
Oh,
tell you about him
absolutely.
afterwards. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I have in fact, the co-host for this show, she and I have a program to help people get into books, to create either their own book or their own chapter in a book. So
Okay.
yeah, I definitely support you on that. It's so important. Get your voice
Well,
out
please no,
there.
I'm not trying to step on your jam. And here's the
Oh
thing,
no,
I'm
not
doing
at
it as a
all. Don't take it
resource.
that way at all.
Okay,
Yeah,
because I'm doing it as a
not at
resource,
all.
because I'd be more than happy
Yeah,
to refer you out that way
I
as well,
love
because
that
I
you've
only
got
want to
it
do it
out
to help.
there. Yeah, because I don't have anything like that out there. I'll definitely send people to go to get that. Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. But now you gave me an idea of maybe writing a guide for the collaborative as well.
Yes,
I
I
might
would
have to
love it
do
if you
that.
did that, and let me know when you have that written. That would be awesome. I'd love to see that. Um,
Awesome.
so we have this one way for them. We're kind of running to the end of our time here, ladies. So we have the one way for them to get the idea to publish. How else can they reach you, Sharon? If people want to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
I am on all of the social, well, I'm sort of kind of Twitter. I'm sort of my kid works for Twitter and I don't even support it, but he's not on Twitter either anyway. So no, he supports it, but he's not social. I'm on LinkedIn. So they can find me on LinkedIn with even just my name. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm not as frequent on Instagram, but my two big jams is really LinkedIn and Facebook. Otherwise, they
Okay.
can email me at Sharon at, and then I'm Possible, all one word, no apostrophe, no space, WEC, which stands for Women's Empowerment Collaborative. So impossiblewec.com. Otherwise,
Wonderful.
if they even want to schedule some time to just get acquainted, because that's my zone of genius, is I like to get to know people personally. And
Right.
it's just go to bit.ly, all lowercase, /chat with Sharon. And the chat is spelled as capital, and so is Sharon. So the C and
Okay.
the S are
Awesome.
capital.
Fantastic. And maybe we can put that in the comments
Oh,
afterwards
sure.
too. So
I like how you did that, Sharon. I like that. Bitly like that. Okay.
if while I ask Miss Jerrilynn the same question, if you'll pop all of that into the chat for me, I will grab that and put that into the comments. Jerrilynn, how can folks get in touch with you if they'd like to?
Well, LinkedIn, of course.
No.
Yeah,
Surprise,
just put in
surprise.
Smart Women Partner and Grow Rich, and you will find me on LinkedIn. I just put my name in, Jerrilynn B Thomas. Don't do business on Facebook. Tried that, didn't work for me. I'm a little bit on Twitter, sort of, but LinkedIn is really the place to find me.
LinkedIn. LinkedIn
And
is the place to find you.
my website, smartwomenpartner.com. You can find me there. And,
Smartwomenpartner.com. Okay.
and my email is JerrilynBTH at smartwomenpartner.com.
.com. Awesome. And again, if you'll pop that in the chat, we'll make sure that people
Will
we
do.
get that into the comments. Fantastic. Ladies,
Okay.
it's been such a pleasure to visit with you today and to learn more about what you're both doing and how you're collaborating in the world. I'm truly excited about what you're doing. Um, Great work on both your parts, and you're making a difference. Appreciate that so much. And with that, folks, we will say goodbye to you for today. Join us again next time on Collaboration Conversations.